Well, today marks the start of a brand new session of Congress. The newly elected 119th Congress will be sworn in today, with Republicans taking full control of both the House and the Senate for the first time since 2019. But before they can get to work on their priorities, the House has to elect a new leader, and that might not be so easy or fast.
All week, current Speaker Mike Johnson has been scrambling to lock down support from some hardline conservatives who still have not committed to voting for him, even after a full-throated endorsement from President-elect Donald Trump. With a razor-thin majority, Johnson can only afford to lose one vote. He told Fox News yesterday he's confident he'll be reelected in the first round of voting. He also said failing to choose a speaker before Mr. Trump's election victory is certified would be chaos for Washington.
Yeah, we would have ourselves a constitutional crisis, I would argue. You have to have a speaker to begin and commence the Congress itself. And this happens every 2 years. We've been doing this for hundreds of years now. I think we'll do it again tomorrow. We'll get the 119th Congress going, historic as it will be.
For more on how all of this could play out, let's bring in NBC News Capitol Hill correspondent Ali Vitali. Ali, good morning. So let's start out by talking about Speaker Johnson's comments that we just heard there.
Yeah.
When he talks about a constitutional crisis, what exactly does he mean, and what impact could any potential delay have?
It's a really good question, because typically you think, okay, you don't elect a speaker, no big deal. Huge deal, not just for those of us who are Congress nerds, but for anyone who actually wants to see Congress certify the election results on January 6th and then see those results certified and then, of course, the president himself inaugurated. You can't do that if you haven't officially started the 119th Congress, and you can't officially start the 119th Congress unless you elect a speaker. Once you elect a speaker, then the House moves on to adjudicating the rules package, which is basically, okay, by what rules are we going to function as a body for the next 2 years? You have to do all of this procedural stuff that seems quite small in order to actually put the House into an official state of doing business. And you definitely need them to be doing business because they need to certify the election results. That's the way that you end up getting, just a few short weeks from now, to the next president of the United States. In this case, President-elect Donald Trump. Republicans certainly want to get to that point, but they seem keen to shoot themselves in the foot by delaying this process, though we'll see how it ultimately shakes out.
I mean, Ali, we mentioned President-elect Trump's endorsement. It hasn't managed to sway everyone in the Republican Party to rally behind Speaker Johnson. Who are the holdouts? What do they want?
There are people who are impervious to the Trump pull, although the president-elect doesn't like to hear that. And in the House right now, because the margins are so thin, and certainly it was the story of the last 2 years, but it's definitely going to be the story of these 2 years, singular members in the House sort of have a permission structure and even a reason to be people who will speak out or try to bargain for themselves. And they are not necessarily the people who a phone call from the president-elect or eventually the president can make them shift their position. People like Chip Roy are people that we're looking at quite closely in this process, because for him, the longtime congressman from Texas, there are procedural things that he would like to see and get from the speaker in order to keep Johnson in this position of power. For other people like Thomas Massie, a conservative from Kentucky, he has said he is a hard no vote. This has actually been true for months, but of course is getting much more spotlight now because Massie is one powerful no, and the only no that Johnson can afford to have if he wants to be able to keep this position. There are, of course, a handful of others who are bargaining for various things. Whether or not they get them will remain to be seen. But the alphabet is going to tell us a lot here. They vote in alphabetical order, and some of the first names are Biggs, Burchett, Crane. These are members who you might not care about, but they will be important when we see if they vote no. Because if they vote no, then the first balloting round is already done and over for Johnson.
And Ali, quickly here, tell us what are some of the big priorities on the agenda for this new Congress once they actually start legislating?
Yeah, they actually have a lot to do, and so it behooves them to get this process of picking a speaker done quickly, especially because they immediately want to move on a tax package that is a continuation of one of President-elect Trump's key tax and legislative priorities from his first term. It's taxes. It's not just that. It's also border security. That is a key feature that they are looking to move on immediately. This is a laundry list of things that are going to take a lot of legislative willpower, and you got to start the process before you can actually get to the legislating.
Absolutely. Ali Vitali speaking to us for the last time as a correspondent. Next week she becomes an anchor. Programming note.
I've got my coffee.
Starts on Monday. Congrats, Ali. Thank you so much.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.